Welcome to Waukesha County GovCast, your source for what's happening in our vibrant community. I'm your host, Hillary Mintz, Public Information Officer.
And I'm Sean Lundy, Chief of Staff for Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow.
Each episode, we dive into the latest news, community projects, and the initiatives shaping Waukesha County, where innovation meets public service. From in-depth discussions on local governance to county services, we're here to keep you informed and connected. So whether you're a resident, a business owner, or just curious about local government, join us for a closer look at the heart of your county. Well, welcome back to GovCast. So glad you've joined us. Since we started GovCast earlier this year, at the beginning of the year, January 2025, our mission was really to inform our listeners, the public, about how does county government operate. And I think a lot of people don't realize it really does impact their lives on a daily basis. And so we really wanted to highlight all of our departments. We're getting there. We've had a few from our wonderful park system, our parks and land use, our roads, who keeps all the construction projects going, and safe roads for us to travel on, our Department of Public Works. We've had courts, we've had judges, we've had DAs, our county executive. But we thought, should we dive a little deeper into the county executive's office, which is where we go every day. And as you know, I'm the Public Information Officer, and Sean Lundy is our Chief of Staff, and we have with us a very special guest, Jasmine Chan, our Office Services Coordinator. So we're going to kind of get into what we do on the third floor of the Administration Center at the courthouse. And so we're going to have a little fun with this one and tell you a little bit more about our daily roles. So, Sean, why don't you lead us off here?
Sure. Paul Farrow is our Waukesha County Executive, and the County Executive's office is quite small, but it supports the executive through his entire or her entire 4-year term. And so the county exec runs every 4 years. It's a nonpartisan office, so even though the occupant of that office might have a political leaning one way or the other, the office itself is a Wisconsin spring election, so generally a Tuesday in early April. Every 4 years. And then that person comes into office with their own agenda, and the office staff helps implement that agenda. So, as I mentioned, it's 4 people. We have myself as the Chief of Staff, the PIO, in Hillary. We have Jasmine as the Office Services Coordinator, and we have another administrative assistant. And each of those people has a role. So, I think what we can do here is just kind of go around and explain, what each of those roles is, and then talk about some service priorities that we have as an office. So the Chief of Staff role oversees, kind of has a dual role, works very closely with the county executive in decision-making and helping make operational changes and do other things around the county. So I like to think of my role as more like a golf caddy. So I'm working very closely with the county executive, the pro, and the county exec is ready to take that golf shot, and I am the caddy standing next to him holding that bag saying, hey, listen, maybe we could take a shot this way. This is the wind direction. This is what I think we need to do to make a quality shot. And the county exec ultimately is then making a decision on how that's going to be executed. It's the yes or no. And, I might hand him a sand wedge and he might say, no, we're going with a 9-iron, and he takes the shot. And that ball might land on the green, or that ball might land in the sand trap. And we walk up there and we figure out what's supposed to happen next.
Does Paul have a handicap?
It's low. He golfs so much. Politicians have so much free time. It's really unbelievable. He's actually a terrible golfer. But, so that's really what my role is. It's to help Paul in his role as much as possible. And then I'm also the head of our own office staff, that huge staff we're talking about of 4 people, including myself. And, so we oversee office operations and our own office budget and that sort of stuff. And then the chief of staff also works countywide with all department heads, helps oversee projects of countywide importance, and then has a role serving on various committees and boards and things within county government to just assist in county operations. So department heads or other people might come to me with issues that they're having that they want to discuss with the county executive, and they may talk with me about it first, and we figure out a strategy of how to, get things done, and then we go in with Paul, and Paul makes decisions.
Sean, you've been with the county for a long time.
I have, yeah. So I started in 2012, but I have a background working for other elected officials in Waukesha County as well.
And also working for state government. And I mean, yeah, you keep our office certainly running smoothly. And it's been great working with you for the last 2 years. So thank you.
Thanks,
for
Hillary.
your public service. Well, as we mentioned, I'm the public information officer. And as Sean kind of mentioned, his role is kind of a dual role, and so is mine. So public information officer / press secretary. And so I am also handling all of the media requests for our county executive, Paul Farrow. And so anytime there's a county issue or local media reporters, or sometimes national, depending on what's going on, will call me and say, hey, can we talk to the county executive about XYZ? So those calls come into me, and then I have to figure out, okay, can we make this happen? And we mostly accommodate all media requests. I mean, we really go above and beyond to make that happen in really a full effort of transparency. And so those calls come into me. Maybe it's an email, text. I have a great relationship with the local reporters, having been a reporter in this market for almost 13 years. So they know who to call. They know I can, I'm going to get what they need, or hopefully quickly. So then I'm in touch with Paul. Can we accommodate this request? We set up date, time, location. Is it in studio? Is it on location? And then, because Paul's our county spokesperson. And so we like to have him speaking as the elected official, the head of our county, speaking on big issues like that. So I do a lot of those requests for him. And then when he's, going out to all of these events, and they can be ribbon cuttings, they might be, meetings with the Waukesha County Business Alliance and other entities like that. And those events, sometimes media come, they cover it. And even if they're not, I'm there, and I'm getting some content that we're then putting on. The county exec has lots of social media channels, Facebook, and so, we're kind of our own little Waukesha County news source. And so I'm out there with Paul at his events. And so again, that's the one part of my job. The other part is as PIO, as we call it for short, is I am doing communications to our internal staff of about 1,400 countywide, and also to the public, right? So internally, if we have, we want to let our staff know big things that are happening. We have lots of projects, and if there's important business information, timely things they need to know about, we're letting our staff know. And we have a monthly staff newsletter that a lot of our departments contribute to. So we can communicate with them in that way. But externally, I mentioned all our social media platforms. We've got Facebook, X, Nextdoor, Instagram, LinkedIn. I mean, pretty much, you name it, we got it. And so that's how all of the good stuff and important information that's happening in Waukesha County, we want the public to know about. And that's the way. So not only are we doing all the social media, and then I'm calling up all the reporters, say, hey, this is going on. We could get you somebody to talk about this. And so we just, as much as we can be transparent about, we are public, right? And we want to be upfront about that. And so I'm handling kind of all of that. And the nice thing is, though, I am the public information officer, but I have someone in each department who helps with communications. And we meet monthly with our communications team. And when we meet in those meetings, everybody's kind of going over what's going on in their department. And I'm kind of listening for like, oh, that sounds newsworthy. And maybe, and there's a good chance after those meetings monthly, it's going to wind up on the news a couple days later or in the Waukesha Freeman. Because there are so many great things that are happening, but really for all angles. I also help out with our district attorney's office with some media relations. As probably our listeners know, Waukesha County, no stranger to very high profile criminal court cases. And when those come up, as we've well documented here on GovCast and also in the local media, our district attorney's office doesn't have a lot of staff, And so we were helping them out with some of those media requests because, when you're a reporter and you cover some of these court cases, the legal terms, the legalities of things can be confusing. You don't know what everything means. You want to know what's happening next with this case. What does this charge mean? And so with a lot of those questions and the short staffing in the DA's office, so we're helping them out. They come to me and I try to get them, their questions as quickly as possible. I can't always help them out, but we try. And so again, that's just another thing I do. And so, yeah, it's fun. It keeps it interesting.
And so another part of your role that is unique to working for a municipal government or a county or state government is this emergency preparation role and the need for communications in an emergency situation. And I know that you've gone through a lot of FEMA training and training with the state of Wisconsin to better understand how those processes work. But like if there's a tornado or something in the middle of the night, which we talked with Alex Freeman a couple of months ago from our Department of Emergency Preparedness, you are also there on the scene. Can you talk a little bit about your role in those types of situations?
Yeah, so I think, and when I took this role about 2 years ago, that was kind of the one aspect that, I didn't really know I would be doing. But when I started that's actually the most exciting part is, I don't wish for any big disasters. When I was a reporter, I loved breaking news. It got the adrenaline going. Now in this role though, if an emergency like that, a natural disaster were to happen, while I of course wouldn't be excited about it, I do get a rush from I want the public to know as much information as we can possibly give them. And there's kind of a way to go about doing that, right? Because everybody, in this day and age, everybody's got a phone and to get ahead of what people are recording with their phone and they're out there and everything all of a sudden is on social media. How do you get ahead of that, right? It blows up. But yes, going through some of the FEMA Advanced Public Information Officer trainings, they put us in those mock situations, right? And I've lived it on the other side as a reporter. And as a reporter, I saw how when you have multi-agencies converging on one place, a lot of times you didn't know which agency to go to. They said everybody's pointing fingers, who's the lead? And so if that ever comes up, I certainly would not want that to be the situation if Waukesha County was the lead, running the things. And not only with that, so what they say is really you prepare 95% of your role is not handling those emergencies. That's such a small percentage, but you want to be ready when those things come up. And so we have a great relationship with a lot of our local agencies and especially our emergency management and the team there with the county. And so we have a crisis communication plan should things come up. I have a team in place. We have a system that we're ready to go, should an emergency happen at 2 a.m, right? We're ready to rock and roll. But again, it's just letting the public know, really the goal is getting the right information to the right people at the right time so they can make the best decisions for themselves and their families in an emergency. So yeah, thanks, Sean, for
I haven't even heard a word that you've said in the last couple of minutes because that's what gives you the adrenaline rush. It's not working with me and with Jasmine here. It's the emergency high energy stuff. It's disappointing. I'm just going to throw it out there on the record.
I did mention though how I'm going to kind of events with Paul, right? How does he get to those events, right? A lot of that really Jasmine, and that's where you come in. So tell us. You are fielding, all of these businesses and companies and events, and it all comes through. I don't get there. Paul doesn't get there without it coming through you.
Sure. So most of the events that County Executive Farrow receives is all coming through via email or phone call or even mail. So we receive numerous amounts for same days. And so we have to make a decision on which specific event, he is able to make, considering also the public information officer schedule, as like you mentioned, you attend these for media coverage, but also making sure that he has adequate travel time and also making sure that other urgent meetings are met on a office and countywide level. So getting all of these events scheduled onto the calendar. I mean, with technology, it's certainly made it easier as we all share calendars, and I'm able to see everybody's calendars, including your public information officer, Hillary's. But making sure that all of the events are covered is sometimes impossible. He's not able to always attend all of these events. Unfortunately, he can't be at 3 places at once. So there are times where he is unable to attend some of these events, and we do let parties know, but doesn't mean that he can't make it the following year if it's an annual event. So
he's a popular guy.
He really is. So
Well, and you've got good life skills to gently let everyone down easily when they find out that Paul can't make it.
yeah, but everybody is very respectful, and they are certainly understanding, especially with his recent schedule and the ongoing health journey that he is on. So,
And then you also manage the county exec's inbox. So when someone emails countyexec@waukeshacounty.gov, you are like the first filter there, making sure he's not getting all the spam and all the things. But then you're also highlighting the important stuff and make sure that he gets that information. How does that process work if like a constituent writes in? Does Paul really read it, or what's the skinny? What's happening?
absolutely. So we work with an incredible amount of individuals, and we collaborate with other offices that understand and know how to respond to specific questions. I mean, this can vary between, court appearances or unpaid parking fees, or, even some issues on the road. We work with incredible staff that know that emails will come their way, and we are able to respond at quite a responsive rate. We wouldn't really, want anything unattended, so we always make sure that, we receive specific correspondence indicating that that particular individual has been contacted, and the result, the issue at hand or the specific concern has been met. So
I always think it's funny that, it could be 8 a.m. and it's like a race between you and Paul, who is actually going through that inbox and reading these emails first, because I know you have a system of like, how things are farmed out. If it's it's to Paul, but it's specific about, let's say, a road construction project or something. And normally first thing in the morning, you're going through that, but oftentimes Paul's already gone through and flagged things and read stuff and forwarding it around and asking people to, get as specific and fast a response as he can for constituent emails. And that's a super important part. And we'll get into kind of what some of the roles are of the office just generally, but constituent service and getting that very fast, efficient response is a priority to the office and for the office, and certainly something that you do very, very well.
thank you. Well, it seems like Paul and I have kind of a understanding. We have certainly geared our email to kind of tab what is hot, what can be, viewed later on in the afternoon, or something that absolutely needs to be flagged. So there are certain tabs that, within our wonderful email system, we are able to utilize and leverage. So.
And you mentioned his health journey. I mean, and we're happy to report, Paul earlier this spring had a major cancer surgery, but we're happy to report that he is recovering. He's been slowly back in the office, attending some public events, which is so great to see. I mean, he's thinner. He's definitely...
Yeah, that makes one of us.
But, how that must have, over the last 6 months, that has had to have had a big change in his schedule that you manage. I mean, how is that changed, and then is it kind of coming back?
It is slowly coming back. There was a good amount of time where he was absolutely unable to attend any events just because of health recommendations and him not, being, exposed to any type of particular illnesses. He wouldn't be able to get treatment if he was, let's just say, had the flu or something like that. So we had to be very cautious about what kind of events he attended. You know, if it was something that was something like this, intimate, where he's only around 2 people, that was something that he was able to attend, versus something where there was thousands of people. We had to kind of think about that and see if it would clear medical.
Yeah, I think it was it was different, I think, for all of us to navigate this new change, you know, for Paul. Is because, I mean, you're speaking about the chemotherapy, you know, when he started last year, and then carrying over into this year with the surgery. Yeah, it's been we've all kind of had to make adjustments.
And the technology there is what really made this so much easier than it could have been, because he's been able to be on Teams calls, I mean, way sooner than what his doctor wanted, like, for sure. But you can't really keep Paul away from this stuff, which makes him a good county exec and a very good public servant. But we were able to utilize technology like Teams and Zoom and those sorts of things to
Yeah, I mean,
keep cruising along.
As much as people want to kind of get away from that post-pandemic, in this case, it really helped, you know, Paul stay in touch with his team and attend those meetings.
So we have a 4th member of the county exec staff, and that is the county exec's administrative assistant, Hilda Aschenbrenner. Hilda's been with the county for like 20 years, and she relishes her job at the front desk of the county exec's office, does an awesome job with greeting people and keeping our office moving on the administrative side of things. But in typical Waukesha County fashion, she is split in her role. So we save some cash as an office, and she works for the Department of Parks and Land Use as well, and specifically helping out with some community development grant programming. So she reviews a lot of contracts every year, and people are coming in with grant applications and those sorts of things. And we also partner with a department next door to ours, the Department of Administration. And Jasmine, you do a lot of work for DOA, and Hilda also kind of serves as their front desk person as well. So we've really, you know, in this theme of like a budget reduction and that sort of thing, she's really like a half-time employee for us and a half-time employee for Parks and Land Use. But it works out great. She's able to utilize her skills kind of across the board with those 2 departments, and it's really, really great. So we have that 4-person staff, and, you know, our role, I really see the county exec's office role as very much a communications type role. He definitely has those CEO traits and things that you need to oversee the operation of a large company, or in this case, a large government. But most of the things we do focus on communications. The county exec being out in the county at a ribbon cutting or at a community event, or, you know, speaking on a panel, he's really not talking about himself. He's talking about what all county departments are doing and how it's impacting the public. And so that's a very public communication forward type of thing. Just like Hillary's work, obviously she's a public information officer, that kind of goes without saying, but all the county's social media and news releases and news conferences and those sorts of things, that is a public communication role internally. Some of the things that I'm doing, and certainly that Jasmine is doing, and that Hilda is doing, we're involving the county departments internally, and communicating and providing information to things countywide, or holding a countywide event or whatever. So lots of stuff going on there, just from a comms perspective. We have lots of constituent service items that Jasmine has talked about, and how we're responding to emails and that sort of stuff. The county exec does things internally for individual departments. So Paul will have like an ice cream social that Paul is, you know, this is like out of his own pocket. He's, you know, coordinating with, you know, Chocolate Factory over in Pewaukee or in Waukesha sometimes, and doing like a summer ice cream thing. Or he'll cook out, he'll go buy and boil brats in his house and come in and have a cookout for the opening day of the Packer season, or the Packer Bear game, or opening day of the Brewers season, just to do like that team building stuff that keeps morale up within within the county, and also just kind of have that team building aspect as well. So we've got constituent service, public events, countywide communications, and that's a big part of what we do.
That ice cream social. Now, a lot of those events, Jasmine, you help coordinate as well. We do a lot of fundraising, right, for local nonprofit organizations.
Yeah, for UPAF and for the United Way.
And we've made and again, it's kind of speaking to that morale boost, right, for staff, because you want to go to a place of work where you enjoy being there every day. And I think, yeah, again, what you were saying, I mean, I think Paul and a lot of the staff go out of their way. I mean, we have a lot of fun, right? We work hard, but we have a lot of fun too. And you can do both over the lunch hour, right?
Absolutely.
I think with the PL Parks and Land Use and DP, we have a mini golf is that for UPAF too?
For
That
UPAF,
is
yep.
for,
Yeah.
I believe actually that's for United Way.
United Way.
okay.
United Way, UPAF, we support
Both,
them
we
all.
support-
both
yeah.
worthy
Yeah.
causes.
But yes,
And then HHS has their annual trike race
that's
outside.
right.
So-
Yes. Yes. So we and
Good
you can see
fundraisers.
and you can see it. You know, again, we're putting all of those things on social media. I mean, you can see it. Everybody's having a good time, and who doesn't like to eat, right? You know.
Good point.
But Jasmine, you help plan a lot of those events, and we just had Penny Wars, right?
We did.
And
That supported UPAF, and so we are actually still receiving pennies from departments, and it's something where staff, is collecting pennies all throughout the year, and we have fun where we can friendly sabotage other departments. So realistically, it's departments against departments, and so the objective of the fundraiser is to have as many pennies. Now, some offices will go to banks to gather, boxes of pennies. And so that kind of just solidifies their, role as champion when they do that. But it's all also essentially for a good cause, and people have fun. People are making cutout faces where they're pretending to be somebody else making the sabotage. So it's friendly and it's fun. I think everybody has a good time.
Well, and now that pennies are going away, nickel wars are in your future. So
Right.
even more money for the fine folks at UPAF.
well, again, thank you so much for listening to GovCast. Hopefully, we've given you a little bit of insight into the world of the county executive's office. So listen and subscribe on all your podcast platforms, and we'll see you next time.